everyone, this is Deborah. Today we're going to do a video about Jamaica. As you know, Melissa just came through, that hurricane, and devastated that island. But I'm going to tell you why Jamaica is my favorite island. I've been to, I think 90% of them. The only one I haven't been to, I think, is Turks and Caicos, and I've been to all of them, like St. Croix, St. Thomas, Alucia. But the first time I went to Jamaica, I fell in love with the place for lots of reasons. I love jerk chicken, okay? The jerk chicken that you buy the side of the road is the best anywhere. The people are so laid back. If you watch videos of when Melissa was hitting, they were outside dancing. They are not stressed. They have the most wonderful disposition of life. They are jovial, they're fun, and they don't need much. I have a friend who lives in Green Island, and her and her husband is a pastor in the Salt Spring district. And I remember buying her a refrigerator for 35,000 J's. Now this was 30 years ago, and that was equivalent to 500 American dollars. But I loved the laid back atmosphere, and the best is the music. I go to the Dominican a lot, and I don't like their music. I like Jamaican reggae. I think that's how you say it. I never pronounce things the way I should. But the music is wonderful and it's relaxing. I just love Bob Marley. You should watch his documentary if you haven't. The music is wonderful. I've never had an issue in Jamaica. Now, I've been there many, many times. And one day I ended up at Hedo II, which is a nude resort, and I was just petrified. I had never taken my clothes off in a public place. But let me tell you what, it was the most fun anybody could have. I stayed there for 13 days at Hedo II in Negril, Jamaica. Go to Negril. There's hardly any high rises there, maybe one or two. But at Hedonism II, there's many, many videos. I even read a book, and I even saw the author who wrote the book in the swimming pool one day, and she signed 5 copies of her book. And I'll put a picture of her book at the end of this video. But if your life is boring and you want to bring some excitement into your marriage, you're not expected to do anything there. No means no. So get that out of your head. It is so much fun at that resort. It's all inclusive. I think it's like $400 a person a night, but that's all of your alcohol, all your drinks, and 3 of the most gorgeous meals. And also, if you get hungry, there's restaurants that's opened all the time. But it is so much fun. It actually changed my life when I went there, because I realized that my body is just as good as anybody else's there. Yeah, they have a lot of activities, and it is just the most beautiful place in the world. And if you go into the West End or the roundabout in Negril, it is a wonderful place. Now, I always hired a taxi driver. I would give him a bottle of liquor and a pack of cigarettes, and he would take me anywhere. But you have to be very careful. I was always with somebody. But it is so much fun. I tried to buy property in Jamaica, but I was given a lot of misinformation. I think it's easier to buy property in the Dominican. Now, I just booked, again, a trip with my friend, who's my neighbor in Ocean City. She just bought a house in Pennsylvania. And so we are going to go together. And we always have fun because we are very good at traveling. We know what it's like at airports. We know what to pack. Never overpack. When you go to Hedo too, you don't need any clothes. That saves a lot. But I always brought gifts to my friend. I told you her name is Sally Dixon is her name. If you ever see her, it's in Green Island. Just tell her I said hi. I worry about her because there was a tornado that hit about 30 years ago, and I remember I sent her a care package. But whatever you send to that country, they have to pay import taxes, okay? The United States is not the only one who puts tariffs on things. It's a lot of countries, okay? So it's just not Donald J. Trump. I remember they opened up, I think I brought 4 suitcases, and they opened them all up, and they go, what is all these? It was Game Boys and stuff. Now, this was 30 years ago, and I said, they are for my friends. So because I was bringing it to a family there, I didn't have to pay the import taxes. But it is, I can't stress this enough. It is a way to reactivate you and your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend. It is just so much fun. Now, I haven't been there, I guess, for the last, 17 years. I'm sure a lot has changed. But if you really like the rustic atmosphere, you will love Negril. I remember the first time I was there, I got a place for me and my 2 children and my husband for $40 a night. Yeah, I kid you not. The secret is this. Listen closely. Don't book a place to stay until you're there. Okay, hobotraveler.com taught me this. You wait till you get there, and then you walk around Negril, and you will get a bargain if you're just coming in clean. But, you know, when you're doing the paperwork on the airplane, they want to know where you're staying. Well, just put down anything. They never check that. Because you can get a place to stay so cheap. And of course, there's Rick's where you can pay the Jamaicans to jump off a cliff. I took my children there. They had a ball. But the sun is brutal, and my children were white-haired with blue eyes, so I had to slather them with sunscreen. I tanned pretty well, but I got a lot of sun damage from not putting it on my face. But they had a ball, and back then you didn't need a passport. Things have changed. Now you need a passport. But trust me when I tell you, Negril is much better than any other island I've ever been with, because I don't mind not having AC, because my first place I rented just had a fan, had lizards crawling up the wall. The Jamaican women were outside doing laundry with the old-fashioned washboards, and the Jamaicans will help you with anything that you need, and I do mean anything. So yeah, check it out. Thanks for watching.